Most business owners think that you need to micromanage a sales team and know all their goals and then like really hold them accountable and shout at them every day and, roll up your sleeves and get to the nitty-gritty of things to keep the sales team motivated. I'm going to go ahead and give you some shocking revelations that have happened through my career as a sales director for several companies, and to the point that I'm at now where I manage several sales teams, knowing exactly what actually motivates salespeople and what gets them to actually perform without you being the person to always look on their shoulder and check on them every 30 seconds. My name is Sami, and over the past 4 years, I've helped generate over $40 million in service sales in trackable revenue, and I've managed a bunch of different sales teams and have seen some of the greatest people in the world and some of the worst people in the world. And my goal in this video is to make sure you don't make a lot of the mistakes or the trip ups that I had to go through in my career. And so if you feel like you have to micromanage your sales team or look over their shoulder or really like pin them down to actually make sure they're putting in the work, I have a few big revelations that I really want you to get into so that you don't have to continuously doing this. And if you find yourself being a business owner who actually does micromanage your sales team and you're frustrated because you go to sleep late at night worried about how sales are going to happen the next day, and you wake up in the morning stressed out because you don't know if they're going to produce, and you have to send them weird Slack messages at 5 a.m. and midnight, then I have some real stark reality for you that's going to change everything. Before we dive into this, and this is probably the hardest thing to ask yourself, is this the way that you would want to be led? Because a lot of times what happens is the sales leader or the manager or the business owner themselves treats people in a way where they think that that's what gets them to respond. One of the best motivational quotes or sales business tips that I've ever heard in my life was my old boss. I used to work at a nightclub many years ago. This was back in 2012. It was around the time when I started was working in nightclubs. And the founder of the nightclub was a great guy, one of the smartest business people I've ever worked with. And he had some great, interesting things where whenever he would hire someone, he would bring them on for month one and pay them their salary. And if he saw that they weren't performing, he wouldn't just go ahead and fire them, or he wouldn't do have a serious, hey, you need to work or get the hell out of here. He would actually continuously pay them for month two, sometimes even month three. And all he would do was have just one sit down, one serious conversation, heart to heart, where he would say, hey, I'm not going to stop your salary. I'm not going to force you to leave, but I want to ask you like a real question. Do you want to be here? Do you feel like you're going to hit goals, your own life goals, if you stick around here? Or do you think that this may not be the path for you? And I don't mind either way. If you want to stick around here, I'll happily coach you. I'll mentor you. I'll make sure you get the results. I'll put you in the education that you need. But if you don't feel like it, maybe you save us both time and just, tell yourself that, because I'm happy either way. And, after month two, they would almost feel embarrassed to stick around for a third month, and they would by themselves walk away. And he said this real strong quote that stuck in my mind, which is, you can't teach motivation. I really believe in the fact that there are people who are determined, who are willing, who will be the first to show up, last to leave, will put in the work, will make sure they get stuff running, and you don't have to micromanage them. You don't have to look over their shoulder. You don't have to make sure they're actually doing their job. Those are what we call rock stars, or he would call them rock stars, and I took that word from him, or superstars, you can call them whatever. But these are the people that you need to have in your organization. And it costs you a lot of money to have people who are not rock stars in your business. So if you have drifters, if you have people who are just hoping that the second month paycheck comes in, or that they're going to do good enough, then those aren't the people that you should have employed for you. Those are the people who are just going to drain the company and drag you along with it. My point in all this is, if you have a rock star, you don't have to micromanage them. You have to inspire them. And if they're already motivated and they want to do the work, you just have to lead them correctly. Now, a great question is, how do you even lead that person correctly? Well, this brings me on to my second point, and that is know their goals and their results that they're trying to hit. And if you're the person who can help carve the way for them to get that, that's exciting. So if they have financial goals that they're trying to hit, if they have goals with their family that they're trying to hit, if they have purchasing things like, I want to buy this car, I want to buy this house for my family, or I want to take care of my grandmother, or I want to take my family on this vacation, be the person who knows the ins and outs of that goal and help them build a clear path for them to get there. A lot of people think that, hey, if I sit down and have these conversations, it's just going to feel fake. Don't make it fake. Make it as real as humanly possible. Sit down and have conversations like this with your employees so that they know that they're heard and that there is someone in their corner who's helping them get there. And guess what? If they're in a sales position, they are the most likely in that company to be able to hit those goals than anyone else, because salespeople are historically the highest paid employees because they're able to generate so much money into the company. Now, when you have these goals and you help carve out like this great path towards them, make sure that you reward them along their way, or give them some celebration in front of everyone saying, hey, congrats, I'm excited for you. Maybe there's a leaderboard. Maybe there's a way where you can call out all the good things that they've done and put it in front of other people so you can celebrate in public. I always say celebrate in public and criticize in private, because if someone gets, and I don't mean like some small criticism where you break down their sales call and say, hey, you made this mistake, you made that mistake. When I say criticize, I mean, hey, listen, we had a conversation and you said that you're going to do these things and I haven't seen them. You don't do that in public. If you do that in public, it creates weird tension. So you do that in private. But the celebration aspect of things needs to be done in public. And if they do hit those goals, maybe have your own personal agenda of, hey, when this person gets this, I'm going to go ahead and give them this bonus. Or I'm going to go ahead and pay for an all expenses trip to wherever they said they were wanting to go to with their family because I care about them. Guess what's going to happen with that salesperson? They're never going to want to go anywhere else, because why go to a different company where they're just another sales rep, where they're treated in a bad way, where someone is looking over their shoulder and shouting at them to get the job done and don't care, when they stick around with someone else like you who actually believes in them, motivates them, invests in them, and makes sure that they have the path to get their goals they're trying to get. The last one that I have for you that I think is the most powerful one yet is train them to think, not just perform. You want to be able to have full confidence in your sales team. You want to be able to say, hey, I know they're going to get things taken care of. I know they've got this. And you want to make sure that they have your full confidence that they can get the job done. Most sales leaders train their reps in what to say. Great leaders show them how to think. And if you can get them to the point where they're problem solvers, they know how to think of things ahead of the time. They know how to implement things the way you want them to be implemented because you showed them the way correctly. And they start innovating different ways and ideas on revenue generating ideas for the company, you've succeeded as a leader. So when reps hit a wall, instead of thinking, oh, what line should I have said here, or who can I blame for this, they need to think, hey, what are the controllables that I can control to do better on the next call? What are the things that I can show up when it's a slow week of leads, rather than just sitting there twiddling my thumbs and saying, I guess I don't have any calls on my calendar. If you have someone who's motivated, who's excited, who's kept accountable, but in a way where you don't have to do it very frequently, and they're able to think for themselves, and you already know their goals and you're trying to help them get there, they'll go above and beyond to perform for you. So if you've got a sales team and you're stuck somewhere in between burnout and babysitting, then just try these 3 leadership principles that are going to really start to get the ball rolling for you. And if you want help actually building a professional sales team that performs without you having to check in on them every single 5 minutes, then go ahead and grab a copy of my book, Building a Pro Sales Team. I wrote this because I've worked with some pretty cool names in the industry, and I've been able to generate some great amount of revenue for a lot of companies. The single things that I found are no company needs giant movers. There's small little shifts that they need to create. I've created them as 11 needle movers that they can put into their business that are small enough that can get them to get the ball rolling. And it's really going to just change everything for you. So click down below. The book's free. I already paid for printing. All I ask for you to do is to cover shipping and handling. So click down below, grab a copy, and let me know what you think.